Paul and the Ephesians. Hello and welcome to Short Points, where we share thoughts on the Sabbath school lessons. We're starting a new quarter, a new study, and we will be looking at a book from the Bible, the letter to the Ephesians. The prism, the lenses or context under which the lessons approach the study is how to follow Jesus in trying times. This is the main theme. Paul is writing to the church of Ephesus, worrying that they may lose heart and faith because the times were difficult, confusing, and he couldn't be there with them. So he tries through his letter to help them regain food, to turn them back to Jesus, to help them rediscover their first love and the reason for their faith. The first lesson looks a bit deeper into this context. What was the story and what was Paul's approach with his letter? Ephesus was one of the largest cities in the Roman Empire, a port city with thriving business and prosperity. They worshipped many gods, but Artemis was the most popular one and had a great temple. It's considered to be one of the main wonders of the ancient world. Paul visited Ephesus in year 52, then returned in 53 to spend 3 years working there, preaching the gospel. People were captivated by the message of Jesus. Lives were converted and the impact on the city was significant. People started burning their idols and expensive handbooks of magic arts. And it disturbed the big economy of the temple of Artemis. It was a big thing, and some were not happy. There was rage and chaos, so Paul had to leave. But the message of Jesus was proclaimed powerfully. Now, 6 years later, Paul is imprisoned in Rome. The year is 62 AD, and he writes a letter to the Ephesians to encourage them and help them build stronger faith on the right foundation. The letter to the church in Ephesus was written to be read aloud. Tychicus, Paul's companion and representative, was the messenger, and the setting would usually represent a gathering of a house church. So we have these more intimate groups eager to hear an update from Paul, how he is doing, what is God doing, and what about them. It's a personal message. The first lesson of the study focuses on setting the main context of the letter, and it also looks at the structure. Between an opening greeting and blessing and a closing greeting, Paul asks for wisdom, reminds experiences with God, talks about Christ's church of Jews and Gentiles, prays to experience the love of Christ, preaches for unity, walking in God, and teaches on how to stand together as a household and an army with God. Paul's message is Christ-centric. It talks about God's mission to unite everything through Jesus. This is the mission of his church. He looks at the church as a body, one body, as a building and temple, as a bride, and as an army. A very rich combination of metaphors and illustrations to convey an important spiritual message. So, what will I take away from this lesson in the length of one tweet? #lesson in one. The message to the church in Ephesus is an encouragement from Paul to remember God's plan to unite all things on earth and on heaven through Jesus. The church is to proclaim and to testify about this unity in Christ. Next week, we will continue exploring, looking at God's grand, Christ-centered plan.